Okay.
You guys are good?
Okay. Hello and welcome to Heritage Hall High School, and we have a doozy for you here tonight as the Heritage Hall Lady Chargers and Boy Charger soccer team are going to take on the Piedmont Lady Wildcats and Boy Wildcats. This is going to be a huge matchup here in District 5A2, and we are excited to bring it to you as we come to you from the Heritage Hall Soccer Complex here on the friendly confines of Heritage Hall High School. So let me bring in my co-host and the voice of Heritage Hall Soccer, Brian Gordon. Brian, how are you this evening? Hope everything's going well. We've got a doozy for everybody out there. I hope everybody's getting ready for a full night of Heritage Hall Soccer. As Piedmont comes to town, they make the trip down the highway in what is going to be a huge inter-district matchup with the boys and the girls. Everything going okay with you before we get into the details of the game?
Yeah, Jack, it's great. It's soccer night. You can't be any better than soccer night, and it's a beautiful night out there. And we get to watch one of the best games of the season between two top-tier teams in the district, between the Heritage Hall Chargers and the Piedmont Wildcats.
Yeah, what a huge game. You know, as high school, we've talked about this, and I obviously learned over the last couple of years, district play is everything. And both of these teams coming off big wins. You know, and I missed, but you did a great job last week in the color and the play-by-play. You had dual job last week as they took down Santa Fe South, both the boys and the girls. Very exciting games. The girls 1-0 win. The boys end up drawing off, but great wins within the district last week. And district play being such a big deal. These are two of the favorites to win district. And as we head toward the playoffs, a huge game with big playoff implications, with the winner of this having an inside track toward home field as at least the first round of the playoffs, and what would set up for a Final Four type push as we get into the playoffs. Let's talk about the teams a little bit as we head in to this game. Start with the Lady Chargers and what they're going to bring to the table. We've got the starting lineups and the feature player we need to go over. You want to start with the starting lineups first?
Absolutely. So up top, Coach Brewster's going to go with the 4-4-2 standard formation for the team, and up top she's doing a little bit different, moving Avery Brown and Layla Ramzad up top. Layla, as we saw in the past couple of games, and especially with the Santa Fe South game, really a good powerhouse up front. She's not afraid to take shots. She's not afraid to push into the defense, and so she should create some traffic up there to open it up for her midfielders, which is going to be Elena Wilson, Mary Kate Magnus, the great midfield player, Jalen Johnson, who's really come into her own this year and started really making statements on the field, and then Macy Moore on the right. And then that back line, that very strong, very confident back line, Katie Ross, who you know well. Lainey Gray, who seems to be able to play anywhere in the field. She's got the speed, she's got the confidence, and she really did a good job last week with playing in the defensive role. Riley Orton, our feature player of the game, and she is just the core of this Heritage Hall team, as we'll talk about in a minute. And then Ellie Lewis on that right side. Gabby Bellin taking residency between the pipes again, doing a very good job last week.
The theme of this team, obviously, these girls can play a lot of different positions. So you can see where she's moving girls around, moving them from forward all the way back to defender. Girls can play a lot of different positions, a lot of different skill sets, and she's utilizing that depending on who they're playing. Moving some girls up and back. We talked about the feature player of the game. Fuzzy's feature player of the game this week is Riley Orton. She could be the feature player of the game and a huge cog every single week. She is, as you said, the heart and soul, a huge part of what they do from the defensive standpoint. She pushes up, scores some goals, a huge talent, and we're so lucky to have her, and she's the future player. Talk more about Riley and some of her skill set, what she brings to the table, specifically from a defensive standpoint.
Well, obviously, as captain of the team, she is the leader of this team, and she has the confidence and the skill set out there to clean up messes. She's already committed to go play at Rogers State. She communicates in the back. She really keeps her defense organized. In fact, keeps her midfield organized as well. And then she's just a great defensive player. That was one of the things we saw against a very tough Santa Fe South team. Positioning and the way that she was able to body players off the ball and gain the ball back and start an attack from the back. It's not common that you see at this level in soccer, and she is an asset all over that field.
Yeah, Riley does things that are not common every week. She was a captain last year also. She's just a junior. She's going to be around next year. She was a captain as a sophomore because she is the heart and soul of the defense, was last year, and she will be again next year as well. So a huge part of what they do defensively. They can pretty much move girls around her, and having a daughter who plays on the defense, she's been a huge asset for what my daughter's been able to do in the leaps and bounds she's made from the defensive standpoint. Riley Orton, the Fuzzies Taco feature player of the game for Heritage Hall Chargers. Of course, we mentioned Piedmont comes to town. Piedmont with an overall record of 10-1, a very strong team. They're a young team, very talented girls up and down the lineup that are very, very skilled, a very athletic team. They start out the year with a win over Carl Albert. They then beat Enid. They go to the Moore Cup, Lion Cup, and they win. This is a team that has played great all year long. Their only blemish has come to, as I look down through the roster, or through the
6A Choctaw.
They lost it to Choctaw in that Moore Cup. They were a runner-up to Choctaw. So a team that has put it together week in and week out, and they're just getting it done on all parts of the game. So talk a little bit about Piedmont.
Yeah, so they have to be one of the obvious favorites to win the district, as well as move in through the playoffs, and really one of the favorites in 5A soccer. They have a very, very good core, and Aspen Cope, number 18, is really the core of that. Coach really speaks highly of her. She's has 10 goals, 8 assists, so you know she's a big part of their offense. She is their captain, and she's already committed to go play at USAO. So she's going to be a big part of what happens on the field today, and it's going to be a really exciting matchup to watch her face off with Riley, because it's really two superstars battling each other head to head.
And only a junior as well. They're not afraid to put juniors in that captain's role as well. She's a huge, huge part of what they do. Aspen Cope also the Fuzzies Taco feature player of the game. They have a very, very strong lineup. They run also a 5-4-1 formation. So a lot of different things to look at as we head under 5 minutes to go before the opening kick of today's game. Very exciting game. We've got the girls' game coming up. Of course, the boys start afterwards. Huge playoff implications in this 5A 2 district matchup. So settle in, guys. It's Tuesday night. The weather's great. If you're not going to come out and join us, of course, the baseball game's going over here at the baseball field. But pass that up. Get over here to the soccer pitch, because we are going to have a huge night of district soccer that is going to go a long way toward setting up the playoff run. So we'll take a quick break, I guess. We'll come right back, and we'll get you set for what's going to be kickoff here at the Heritage Hall soccer pitch. Stay with us. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. You're listening and watching Heritage Hall Soccer.
When you walk into Fuzzy's Taco Shop, you'll know you're in the right place. With the best Baja-style menu in town, we'll have the whole family addicted.
Order up.
Nachos, tacos, burritos, it doesn't matter. It's like an explosion of flavor in your mouth. We know you've had a long day, and you deserve a break. So, bring the crew to one of the Fuzzy's Taco Shop locations in Norman, Oklahoma City, or Stillwater. Welcome to your new addiction. Eat me.
Mercedes-Benz of Oklahoma City is proud to offer the leader of luxury SUVs, the new 2018 Mercedes-Benz GLE 350.
We were looking for a powerful luxury SUV that's easy to handle. Safety is always a concern when driving on the highway, and we were really impressed with all the safety features on the GLE. It has a lot of cargo space, and that's very important to me when I'm hauling the family around. Our sales associate made our experience very memorable. It was just that easy.
Only at Mercedes-Benz of Oklahoma City.
And we're back. Welcome back to Heritage Hall Soccer. We're getting ready to have kickoff here in about 2 minutes, 45 seconds. We're getting ready to go over the keys of the game. Of course, keys of the game are important each and every week. We like to break down things that are going to get it done for both of these teams. We'll go over the keys to victory for Heritage Hall. They're brought to you by Mercedes-Benz of Oklahoma City. Brian, what are the keys of the game for Heritage Hall as laid out for us by Coach Brewster?
Number one, make the most of corners and one-on-ones, and really that is a big part of the soccer program here at Heritage Hall is those corners. The girls are very, very good at attacks. Layla Ramzada is a great corner taker. She and Elena Wilson from the left side, they can put it really anywhere in the box, and it's a matter of attacking it in there. They create great opportunities for the girls. If they can close those down and get something out of that, then they're going to put this Piedmont team on their back heels.
Yeah, we've seen that the last couple of games, them getting lots of opportunities in front of the net and just not being able to convert on those. This is definitely the game. We need to convert a lot of those opportunities to certainly get the lead early and try to then take advantage of that huge defense. So that's a huge key. Key number two?
Stay marked up and stand them up. that's going to be very, very critical. This is a talented Piedmont team that can play the ball through our defense, and if we're not marked with them, then it's going to be an open run on the goal. And when they're coming at you, you've got to stand them up. And really, that's just a matter of taking a forward option away from them, taking any forward passes away from them. And what you ultimately want them to do is to force them to pass backwards, make them start playing backwards, and that'll create stop any momentum that they might have and give your defense a chance to set.
Limit that athletic ability. Stopping that athletic ability, like in any sport, you get that athletic ability stopped, it's going to certainly help your defense. And key number 3.
Physical and mental on-ball toughness. It's just be confident out there and be tough out there. You know, if when you challenge hard but fair, of course, and don't give up easy balls. If you lose a pass or if you lose a dribble, then go back and get it.
Yeah, we've seen a better display of that the last few games. This has been one of those teams that, as they've played tougher competition, they've picked that up. The weather, I think, calming down has been nice. This team that didn't love the horrible wind, even down at Duncan. They were a team that a little bit of a slow start and weren't able to capitalize early on those opportunities in front of the net. But as they've kind of gotten to where they play tougher competition, have been able to rise the occasion. Tonight will certainly be a key part of that. As we said, Piedmont comes to town very, very highly touted. Lots of expectations for them, and they came here to win. This is not a team that just showed up and is going to be intimidated by Heritage Hall. They are young, but they are very, very talented, and they are not used to taking L's anywhere, either on the road or at home. So we are down to kickoff time. The officials are here. They are ready to go. Piedmont's wrapped up. They are getting their final instructions, and Heritage Hall's starting lineup is ready to go as well. The move to Layla to forward and Mary Kate back to midfield, and also moving Lainey Gray back to defense. You know, she plays that on her club team, I guess, so she's certainly familiar with playing defense, but she's been a real nice offensive threat for them. Do you think there's anything to that, or is that something we'll just wait and see how that unfolds?
Well, I think it's a conservative move by Coach Brewster. Lainey Gray's got a lot of speed, so that's going to help keep everything in front of the defensive line. With her and Riley Orton in that back line, they should be able to see everything coming and not allow the Piedmont Wildcats to get in behind them. So I think it's a good conservative move. I think that if, as Coach Brewster watches Piedmont and determines whether the defense can handle the Piedmont attack without Laney back there, you'll start seeing Laney start sneaking up.
Well, last week and this week, last game and this game, when they've played the tougher opponents and they've gone with 4 back there on defense, they are awfully tough. Katie Ross, very, very physical. Riley Wharton, one of the most physical girl I've seen in girls soccer. Between those two, really bodying people up and putting them on their backside, and then you get the athletic talent off of a Lainey Gray or another fast girl who's used to playing defense, and then anybody else back there in that fourth role, they have been really, really good at keeping teams out of the goal, as we saw last week in a 1-0 win. So a good strategy against the better teams, obviously. So we're underway. Here we go.
Yep. And just like that, you can see that Piedmont's going to try to pick through around the defenders, play deep, look to pick through the defense. It's interesting. You'll see that number 24, Ellie Lewis, is more of playing a stopper position than really a flat back line that the drawing had depicted. You have Riley Orton truly staying in the back sweeper position, but Ellie's going to play a little bit ahead of her, in front of her, really be the first one to receive that Piedmont star Aspen cope and challenge her.
Well, and Ellie's very physical as well, so she marks 18, she'll be able to put a body on her and stay physical in her space, make her uncomfortable. That goes back to that standing up, those offensive athletes, and will really help stop that athletic push. So a good strategy here to start. Piedmont with the throw in here, number 22, Lindsay Stevenson going to take that for Piedmont as she throws the ball in from the sidelines.
Yep, and she's picking out her defender her attacker in the midfield, and there's Riley Orton. You can see how quickly she can bring the ball down and then get it out of danger and pass it up forward. So she's used to challenges like this, and I think she'll be, if the Chargers going to have any success, it's going to be on her shoulders.
Yeah, the good thing about having a Riley Orton and frankly Mary Kate Magnus and some of these other girls is that they are not going to be overwhelmed by anybody coming and playing in this environment, in this type of situation, or going forward as we head toward the playoffs. They've been in huge spots all over the country, and this is not going to overwhelm them in any shape or form. They've seen much better players, frankly, or as good of players all from all over the country. So just an absolute safety net to have those type of girls.
Absolutely. You know, the Chargers are really going to have to make sure that they spread out that field, because you can see how densely packed the Piedmont defense is right there. And to get around them, you're going to have to start utilizing your wing, just like Layla was trying to pick out, I think that was Macy Moore on that wide side. Here's an attack. Again, the Piedmont team has just got the confidence looking for that cross. They've got a backdoor runner. That's Cope on that back door. So she was in the right spot. The Piedmont wing just couldn't get the ball across in a more shallow pass.
So bullet dodge there, and we get the goal kick here.
But you can see, so the defense is going to have to be aware that they're going to watch for those runners. Even if the ball's on this side of the field, that they're going to have to watch for that backdoor run, because Piedmont's going to be trying to pick out those wing positions. Ends up being a short goal kick. Didn't quite get out of our half, but it'll end up being a throw-in for the Chargers anyway. So hopefully Elena will be able to, the Chargers can start stretching out this field, look for somebody in the center to start controlling the ball and working between the defense and the offense.
Yeah, one interesting thing to watch here early is going to be how we're able to transition from defense to offense. You're seeing we're certainly sagging back, getting a lot of bodies on defense when they're getting an offensive push, but when we're getting the ball up toward an offensive attack formation, we only have one girl, maybe two girls in that offensive formation, so it's being easily stifled by the defenders for Piedmont. So how quickly we're able to transition into an offensive formation is going to be key as we go through the rest of this first half.
Well, and the Piedmont offense has a lot of momentum. Their past two games, they put up 20 goals on the score, so they've started clicking at the right time, and so it'll probably take that extra body to help kind of slow them down early on.
Yeah, I think, and from a defensive standpoint, we're going to see that we saw early when Heritage Hall got into their territory. They're going to do the same thing. You'll see them pushing a lot of bodies in and making sure that they're stopping the offensive push out of Heritage Hall.
Absolutely. And they're doing a very good job of trying to play the feet. And we got to be careful with that kickball. If we can just bring that ball down and have a little bit more confidence on turning on that ball, I think we'll create some opportunities for ourselves. There's Ramanzada. Looks like Mary Kate's kind of sneaking more on the offensive side of the midfield than she really is on the defensive side.
Yeah, and we've seen out of her in the last couple of games early, she's been much more effective as far as an offensive threat in the halves than later. So we want to get some offensive push out of her early.
There's a dangerous ball. Those bouncing balls that are hard to judge, and you can see the Piedmont players not worried about putting a body into Riley Orton.
Yeah, they're going to be battling all day. I'm sure they know exactly what they're getting into as well.
So a throw-in for Piedmont. She wisely just kicked it off of our player. She wasn't really even looking at trying to get it to anybody. She was just going to kick it off our player and then organize afterwards. Very open midfield there. Elena Wilson stepping on it. Touch lets her down just a little bit. Now she's looking through.
Again, as we push into the offense, we've got the one forward here.
Yeah, it seems like Ramanzada is kind of dropping back a little bit, not playing.
And these are the situations.
True pushing forward.
Yeah, exactly. It's right now really a defensive situation, but these handballs or these dead balls will really help these offensive pushes. And this may be part of the strategy here is pick and choose your spots early and make sure to not give up anything early as we kind of fill out the early game plan and see exactly how athletic Piedmont is.
Yeah, and this is going to be a good time to test that keeper. You never really know how confident a keeper is going to be on the ball, and so if you can get it deep into her hands, and that one just goes in through the wall itself. But if we can start testing the keeper and kind of get an idea of exactly how good she is truly, then we'll know a little bit better how to play her. Laney Gray off the clear. A lot of free time in that midfield. Our defense, or our players, that's a mistake there in the back. Good strong shot, just wide of the goal. But you got to be careful about those mistakes in the back.
Yeah, a little bit of a slow start there. You can tell that this taking a little bit of adjustment to catch up to how athletic Piedmont's forwards are for sure. But we've dodged another bullet there. Be another goal kick. Up to Magnus. She sends it up the sidelines here. We'll get a run here out of Jalen Johnson.
Yeah, I mean, and Jalen's pretty quick. I don't know. It's going to be a little bit challenging to beat that big defender. Oh, and that was just had plenty of time. She just got her nerves got her, and she decided to take a shot, and it went high and wide. But the Chargers are right now kind of working on the counter attack, not really necessarily building up the attack, but waiting. We're catching or absorbing the attack from Piedmont and then counter attacking quickly, and that may work for them very, very well.
Ball out of bounds. Laney Gray will have the throw in over on the far sideline here.
So really, after the first 8 minutes, it's been pretty even.
Pretty even, yeah. They've had a couple more opportunities. You can tell that the speed of their forwards, a little bit of an adjustment for our defenders, minus Riley, who's, again, been just a great safety net. And our offensive attack has been a little more limited. But, again, it's early. We're only, 7 or 8 minutes in.
Yeah, you can already see how big of a part Riley Orton's going to be playing back there.
Yep.
I think she's been called on about 4 or 5 times already, and really has been faced with being the last man back there. Ramanzada fighting in the middle. She's going to attract a crowd, and if they aren't going to bring that ball down and look to just playing it forward, then Jalen's really just going to have to sit on that last defender and see if she can get into a foot race with her. Attacked by Piedmont in the box. Laney Gray does a good job of bodying up the attacker and spoiling the cross, and so it'll be a throw-in for the
Yeah, that was
Piedmont
Kylie Swanson with a nice. She's a senior forward for Piedmont, and she had to take on a couple of Heritage Hall defenders. First got it from Riley and then Laney Gray both. They get a throw in there on the far side. Nice crossing there.
That's a challenging ball in the box. Somebody's got to get a foot on it. Wow, that was a good turn on it. She got underneath it, but, boy, you don't want to give her any chance of contacting that ball that close to the goal. It would have been a challenging ball to save if she was able to put it on frame.
Yeah, she did have a couple bodies in front of her. It would have been really hard to get that on line, but you're right. Any type of turn with the body and a shot there would have definitely been trouble. So another goal kick here.
Straight to Mary Kate. Mary Kate's got some time if people communicate with her, and that'll go off a Piedmont Wildcats, so it'll be a throw-in. But
lots of bodies over here. It's going to take some type of, from there, a pass toward the middle probably, or a bigger kick up the side here, because you can tell they are certainly aware of us trying to pass it up the same side where the ball is. There's 3, 4, 5 bodies here within a 20-yard area.
Orton's there. She's just going to relieve pressure.
And those type of pushes are their best thing right now. From what I see, I'm certainly not a strategist, but there's 5 or 6 girls when they're at the midfield within a 15-yard area. So that's going to be the open area.
Ramanzada had a good run. She ended up one too many challenges, but was able to get in deep. That's trouble. Keeper's got to come out, and that's end up a goal. Unfortunate. Great cross by Piedmont. Had a player that was just sitting in the middle of the box. Laney Gray was in the vicinity, but the player did just a wonderful job of just stopping that ball at her feet and had a point-blank shot on the goal.
Yeah, it started out here with both Katie Ross and Riley both missing on the play out at about midfield, and then the cross was Laney was late getting over to it, so we had about 3 defensive errors in a row, and they had a couple of good plays in a row, and 1-0 Piedmont.
Yep, and it'll be important for Heritage Hall to have confidence and respond. then they're a very good team and they can score very, very quickly. So they can respond quickly. Then it really just evens everything back out.
Nice by Mary Kate there. And pushed
Corner
out of
kick.
bounds by number 14 for Piedmont. That's Morgan Watson, a freshman defender. She's a big, strong, athletic girl. Be a corner kick here, which will be taken by Elena Wilson.
Yep.
These are those opportunities that we talked about earlier that have been getting in front of the goal and count no fewer than 8 girls for Piedmont in the box here. So they're aware of that also.
And Elena's got that left foot, so this is going to be an in-swinger. That is a really great ball.
And again, nobody touches it, and it passes all the way through. So out of bounds, and it'll be a throw in by Piedmont on the other side.
Yeah, that center defender for Piedmont, she's a tall girl, so she's going to be a challenge to beat to the ball and those high crosses. So Chargers may need to try to figure out a way to play around her.
Yeah, they have a couple of tall ones. 21, Lauren Stevenson is a junior defender, and also 14, Morgan Watson is a freshman defender, both really tall, long girls that play defense, it looks like. At least one. Both play defense for them.
So a goal kick for Piedmont.
Good kick out of the goalie, although it's out of bounds. So it'll be a throw in for Heritage Hall off their sidelines over there. Elena Wilson will take that.
So the Chargers really kind of, if they can start stretching this field out, move the ball, make the Piedmont team start chasing them a little bit, I think that'll help. We're still just kind of kicking it down the field, looking for a quick one-on-one, and they've just got some fast defenders. So beating them to the ball is going to be a challenge, I think.
Yeah, definitely still trying to work out the riddle of how to get there, and here comes another offensive push.
Riley Orton in. Not a bad look for the left wing and a shot, low shot. Wasn't a screamer, but it had some pace to it, and Heritage was able to collect that one pretty easily. And that one just drifts by. Probably would have felt a little bit better about a little sense of urgency from the keeper on that one, but it ended up just going out of bounds.
Yeah, it was just right at the right pace where I think everybody thought it might be somebody else's. You hate to see girls stand around and watch a ball roll. So
Exactly.
a lot of people watching the ball. Goal kick here.
Macy Moore collecting it. Now can she get it off her feet?
Just not quite sharp right now. It has a little bit to do with how good the Piedmont defenders are and midfielders are, but to this point, passes just aren't quite sharp enough. So.
Yeah. Now a little bit of space for Mary Kate. She's going to try to hit Jalen Johnson over the top, and again, you can see the speed of those back defenders. Very, very well coached defenders, keeping their shape, keeping spread out so that they can collect the ball and get it back. Now Mary Kate's on it. She wanted Elena Wilson on that left side. Elena had started holding up her run, thinking maybe in a more support role, but leaving space for Mary Kate to dribble, and they just have to get on the same page.
Yeah, right now a little bit out of sorts.
Well, this is not necessarily a team that's used to going down. There aren't many games that they've been playing in that they've been trailing anybody. There have been a number of games where it just hadn't had a score in the first half, but for a team, the team's not faced this kind of adversity very much.
Yeah, I don't think there will be a lot of panic. I just think it's just taking a little bit to figure out how to attack a team that certainly is athletic, certainly is long, and as importantly, their forwards are very athletic and fast. So although you want to get aggressive with how you attack them from an offensive standpoint, you do have to be aware that their striking ability on this end, it doesn't take much for them to get back this direction. So
Riley's just going to put it back in the mixer. I would think she was trying to get it over to Mary Kate and hope that Mary Kate would be able to extend it on, but it's kind of a looping pass, so really more of a 50-50 ball.
throw in here for Piedmont.
Now that's trouble. Riley's got to watch that cross. There's a player right in the top of the center of the box, too. Well done by Riley to take that ball away. Now can the girls play together? Elena's just going to
clear
that out of
reset.
pressure. Ball still in play into Macy Moore. Now Mary Kate's going to try to pick Jalen up top again.
Yeah, that strategy is going to be tough to get done because both of those defenders are as fast as Jalen Johnson is, so it's going to be hard for her to run by them.
Well, yeah, and especially since she's usually starting with giving them a 5 feet head start.
Exactly.
So she's got room to make up at that point anyway. So I think she may have to start playing a little bit more flush with the last defender if they're going to keep that strategy. Free kick for Piedmont. I think it was maybe a high kick.
Yeah, Mary Kate was pushing her in the back a little bit, so a little bit rough there on the high ball, and get a free kick out of it, which we're handling here. Elena Wilson up the left side there. Kicked out of bounds. Be taken along the far sidelines.
Good gap in between Heritage Hall midfield and the forward, Jalen Johnson. So they'll need to kind of bridge that gap a little bit. I'm thinking Ramazada is going to be part of that, but as much as we know Layla likes to run and dribble, that may not necessarily suit this kind of formation.
Yeah, right now still trying to figure out how not to give up any more goals, but also attack their defenders. So still kind of piecing it together, I think. So
good job.
Laney Gray with the header up there. So moving up toward the midfield.
Now the girls looking to make some play. Good idea by Jalen Johnson.
That was a good idea.
Just didn't have enough power on the pass.
And kicked out of bounds, be a throw in here. So a little bit of a push here.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough battle in that front line there. Riley Orton playing to Mary Kate. Now can Mary Kate turn? She does a good turn now. This is where we can see much better play. You can see where they're getting on the same
Jalen
page.
needs to back up.
Now
Back
she
up,
goes to
Jalen.
goal.
Back up, Jalen. Didn't quite get her hips turned and kicked over the goal, and it'd be a goal kick. Heritage Hall would like to thank Heyday Entertainment for its sponsorship of the Heritage Hall Athletic Program. It's packed with family fun, bi-level laser tag area, bridges, ramps, mini golf, ropes course, arcade, and pizza. Visit them in Lower Bricktown and Norman and watch all the games at Heyday, the Heyday Way at Heyday Entertainment.
Yeah, Mary Kate gave herself a little bit of a tough angle on that. Couldn't, as you said, couldn't quite get her hips around. But good opportunity for her. Really, I think that she's probably winning that matchup in the middle more than not. So maybe that's something we can watch a little bit more. That's an offsides.
Yeah, that is an offsides. Good call over there. So it'll be a dead ball free kick there for probably Elena Wilson over there. She gets the ball back in bounds. Special thank you to Quail Creek Bank for supporting us again this year. It's your connection for better banking. Go to quailcreekbank.com, member FDIC. Kick goes over here to Mary Kate Magnus, who sends it up. She's looking for Ramanzada.
Layla almost had it. She could keep it on her feet. She had some space, was able to turn, get past that forward. So good things happening there. There's Cope for Piedmont.
You can tell some better ideas, though. Mm-hmm. The last couple of minutes here, we've seen some more crisp passes.
Yeah, the girls should be getting a little bit more confidence on this. They've absorbed and defended a good handful of the Piedmont attacks and should be able to start believing that they can hold them out for most of the rest of the game if they really just kind of focus on what they're doing.
No, you're right. Throw in here by Katie Ross.
It's like a sub for Piedmont. Number 10, Kaylee Swanson, is going out. And number 7, which is Brooke Welch, is coming, a freshman. Ball played on forward to Ramazada. Still in play, then played into the center. That one goes off Ross. You know, with Mary Kate in the center and really the skill level there, I'm a little bit surprised that the midfielders aren't really challenging in the center. They're more waiting to react to the Piedmont touch than challenging their touch. And I think if they get out in there and start bodying up and challenging the Piedmont touch, they can stymie a lot of these attacks really early on.
Cleared out by Wilson. That's not going to do much more than just to leave some pressure, which, you know, is important, obviously.
It's an opportunity. Ramazada on the ball. She's got a little bit of space. She's trying to pick out Jalen Johnson. Had Mary Kate right next to her. Looks like number 19, Taylor Rollins, has gotten in the game on this right side wing position as well. Chargers having to step up and defend on this one.
Yeah,
what a great run.
Yeah, and just having a little trouble with the speed. I mean, Piedmont's very athletic, and they've got some fast girls.
Yeah, that's and that's really going to be a big part of the game. Is that how long those girls can keep up that pace running up and down that wing position, because they can create a lot of opportunities and second chances just from being in that right spot. Taylor Rollins battling on this side, ends up getting herself a free kick. So Chargers with the free kick on the near side. Chargers, of course, in their all white. Piedmont in the blue and gray blended jerseys.
As Ashley McMahon called for the push, she's pleading her case to the official, who's not really wanting to hear it.
Yeah.
All is forgiven, though, and the ball's back in play.
Taylor playing, and now can Mary Kay get past her? She needs some speed. Now she'd beat one defender, had a second defender catch up to her.
Taylor Rollins playing a couple of good minutes here, actually, and keeping the ball in play there.
There's Jalen Johnson trying to pick Taylor on the wide side.
Ramazada. Just a little bit greedy. You can tell if you know, we don't like being down 1-0, and we want to get that fixed immediately. And a little bit of a quick shot there, and you know, that's one of the things I'm sure they're going to talk about when they get an opportunity is the opportunity, the good opportunities, at least to this point, have been few and far between, and we really don't need to be wasting those. Defensively, just in general, this team's not going to give up a whole lot of goals. They're just too good, especially with Riley back there. They're just not going to, they're not going to give up a bunch of 4-0 losses. But when they're down, they do need to remain patient because some of these teams are going to be very good defensive teams. So when you get a good opportunity, you need to make the most off of it. You can't just be firing bullets. Need to make sure you're making the most out of it.
Yeah, it was an ambitious shot by Ramazada from 25 yards out, which and many teams you can have some confidence that the keeper may struggle with it. With this Piedmont team, I don't have that much confidence. I think the Piedmont keeper would probably be able to get that. Just like this one, if Riley puts on a frame, I'm thinking the keeper should be okay.
She's got a good leg.
Oh, that's trouble in there, and it's in.
Very nice. A great cross there, and Mary Kate comes up and heads it in. And a great equalizer there. A great team soccer. Free kick comes from Riley. She crosses to Mary Kate, and the header puts it in the back of the goal with a little under 15 to go, 14:54 to go here in the first half. And we are all tied at 1. So just like that, it is tied up and 1-1. We are back in play. So that quickly, 1-1. A great play.
Yeah, I mean, Riley Orton put it really exactly where she needed to put it. She put it a little bit more straight. It would have gone straight to the keeper, put a little more curve on it, and it would have dropped out of bounds. She was able to really just put it exactly where it snuck in behind the defense. The defense thought it was going to go out of bounds and didn't really make a play on it. And Mary Kate was the only one really getting into it and had an open header right into the center of the goal.
Yeah, it was one of those that was difficult to handle. If you're a goalkeeper, she tried to come up the minute she saw that the defenders were not going to be able to get it. It's really difficult for goalkeepers to know when to leave the box. I mean, and she had to leave leave her area to go get it, and just a half a second too late.
Yep, it's those late decisions can really haunt you, and you got to, as a keeper, you got to just make a decision to go or not. And another one of those balls that kind of just drops in right behind the defense, and nobody really running on it. They were trying to receive it, but you got to watch that, because if you have that one player, the wing player, coming at a little bit different angle, now they're unmarked and in the box.
Yeah, great play. It was one of those situations that we haven't been taking a great advantage of the corner kicks, but that is one of those that you get a crossing situation and you take advantage of a header. So one of those things. The boys have shored up a lot quicker from their perspective. They've been able to, especially with John Matthews coming in, being able to get some of those headers to get in the goal. And the girls haven't been able to. Great job there to equal the game at 1. So here we go again. Nice defensive play there by number 4, Jason Fallon. She is a senior captain for Piedmont. It's a steal there.
Yeah, Elena Wilson had beat her player on that far side, just kind of ran out of gas, wasn't able to create that separation, ended up getting the ball taken back. But, it's going to be a lot of that give and take in those wing positions, and who's going to tie her first really is going to start creating opportunities for the other team.
No, absolutely. So we head under 12 and a half minutes to play, and 1-1. Throw in from the far side out of Laney Gray, and she'll get it going. We'll try to see if we can get one more push here.
Yeah, the Chargers don't need to panic. They don't need to necessarily rush. There's still a lot of soccer left to be had. 12 minutes in this half alone, and they've done well. We've had our chances. We've been able to put a lot of pressure on the Piedmont defense. We just have to be strong in our midfield and our defense as well.
Yeah, that's going to be part of the maturation process of this team, is just knowing against the good teams, certainly as they go through the playoffs, knowing that they don't have to panic. They can definitely be patient, even if they give up an early goal, that their defense is going to stay strong, even if they're down 1, and let that offense develop and take advantage of their opportunities. And that was one of those situations where even after they rushed a couple, they got another opportunity and put it in. So here we go again with a little bit of a push here. From an offensive standpoint, not totally comfortable on how we're going to get multiple opportunities, but the ones we're getting, we take advantage of them, we should get enough to get a couple more goals at least on the board, and try to play some strong defense. Certainly haven't heard the last of Piedmont's offense either. They are very talented, very athletic, and there's going to be some more pushes out of them.
Well, and they're going to be looking for those mistakes where we whiff the ball or mishit it, and they're going to capitalize, punish us for those mistakes. So we're going to have to be pretty sharp in that back line.
Absolutely, and frankly, that's one of the places on the field right now where they are more athletic than us, for sure. Their forwards are, and vice versa. Their forwards are more athletic. That's a great play there. And that's going to be a free kick for us as they knock down Jalen Johnson.
Yeah, Jalen's she's used to getting knocked around, and certainly it looks like Piedmont's come here to play a physical game, which is part of soccer. I mean, it's fouls are a part of soccer, just like in basketball or any other sport. You get some emotional attachment from the parents in there, yeah. But it's also going to be who's going to play physical, who's going to want that ball more. Yeah,
and we, and our group is certainly not immune to physical play. That's what our defense brings, that physical presence, and that's a little bit can be a little bit of an issue when you line up against athletic forwards, because it's rare that you're going to get a real physical athletic player like Riley Orton. I mean, she's just so rare. That's what makes her so great. It's her physical ability and her physical play, body control, and everything she does, along with the fact she's incredibly athletic. So you almost have to pick your poison, and we see that with the other girls back there. We've got an athletic girl in Laney Gray, who's very athletic but not very physical, and then a Katie Ross, very physical as Riley, but not anywhere near the athletic ability that Riley's going to bring to the table. So you kind of have to pick your poison. It's like other other sports and other positions.
Yep.
And then when you get a girl matching up that's an athlete against a physical player, that's where you get those mixed matches, and you got to, they're going to try to take advantage of those situations. So that'll be an interesting thing to watch, not only tonight, but as we go deeper into the playoffs against the really good teams. On the other end, we're going to match up some spots like that as well, where we get some athletic girls against their physical players and vice versa. So.
Yeah, especially in this program, teams aren't used to necessarily some of these girls dribbling right at them.
Yep.
You get a Layla Ramazada coming at you, and sometimes you can freeze in your tracks just because you're not sure how to play defender.
Oh, you're right. And we have multiple girls that are not afraid to do that. Mary-Kate Magnus does a great job of just basically being able to be a better athlete than you are and dribbling around you. And even with this team, you can tell they've got long defenders that are physical, but when they get an athlete like a Layla, like a Mary-Kate dribbling right at them or right around them, it's going to present some problems. So that's what makes the matchup so intriguing. So definitely something to watch as we had under 8 minutes to go here in the first half, tied at 1. That's why these are two of the better teams, not only in District 5, 5A2, but in the state. So
yeah, absolutely. And the game's moving very, very quickly. You haven't seen much involvement from the referee, which is what you don't want to see, very much involvement with him. And so, the teams are showing to be evenly matched, really, on shot and goal, on just effort and physicalness. This is a really intriguing game. Wow, that was a good shot. Good turn, right-footed shot, just over the bar. Oof. Chargers dodge that bullet.
Yeah, they definitely do.
Yeah, goal kick for the Chargers, but yeah, you got it, and you can see how quickly the Piedmont forwards can get possession of that ball and really just pull the trigger. They don't need a couple of touches. They don't need to realign their hips so they're getting on target. They're just turning and taking a shot.
Kicked out of bounds by Laney Gray. She kicks it up into the stands. ChargerVision would like to thank our official sponsor, Halll Orthodontics, for giving so many Chargers something to smile about. Call 405-755-8151 or visit okcbraces.com. Halll Orthodontics, your home for orthodontics care. 6:46 to go here in the first half, knotted at 1. Very competitive, as we've talked about, very evenly matched, very competitive. You can just tell there are fireworks to come. There's very, very good athletes on both teams, and you're just waiting for that next mismatch or whatever's coming. And there's an offsides there or out of bounds maybe, by Piedmont.
Yeah, you can tell that Piedmont's getting a little bit frustrated because they probably have sensed that they've had the better opportunities or the better built opportunities. But they're going to get that part of facing a Riley Orton is that you're going to work hard and create these opportunities, and they're just going to get thwarted in the very end.
Well, and that's the makeup of our lineup right now too. We've got very little push up top. We are defensive heavy right now, and our midfielders are put an emphasis on playing defense. So yeah, it's going to look like to them that they have owned the first half, and that's what they'll say. If it goes in tied or close at halftime, they'll feel like they've gotten the better of it. But the reality is, that's the lineup we've got out there right now. That's what we're looking to do. So, not surprising at this point. We just need to make sure that when we're getting our opportunities with this type of formation, that we're taking advantage of them.
Yep, and if it's still close in the second half or later in the second half, I bet you'll probably see O'Reilly Orton sneak up every now and then to see if she can create an opportunity to get on goal, maybe utilize her strong shot, and then just park the bus. If we can get ahead, then we're definitely going to try to protect that one-goal lead.
Yeah, that's kind of been the strategy is pick and choose your spots and then try to get the lead and then don't give it up. So.
Good ball
nice
intercepted
play,
in the center.
Nice play by Ellie there. Mary-Kate Magnus with the ball. And just not much to pass to up the right side here. So it's try to get free and dribble or pass it in what seems to be nobody home. Not much room there. It would have taken us an absolute precise pass, and there wasn't really anybody home. The ball goes out. It'd be another goal kick for Heritage Hall.
But a good look by Piedmont. They had a defender beat on that left side, and if just a properly weighted pass and angled pass, then that would have been very, very dangerous. That defender would have, or that forward would have had a free pass across the middle to some charging attackers. So we'll have to pay attention to that. Again, that matchup on the wing positions between the wing defenders and the Piedmont wings is going to be pretty critical to keep an eye on. Play across the middle. You don't want to let her turn. Looking for that cope. Oh, that's a great shot. Looking top corner, just went wide. Didn't really need have a whole lot of pressure on her, so she had a free look. And that's going to be pretty critical for our midfielders to continue to drop in a little bit as well. If we're getting a high-pressured attack, we don't want to get outnumbered there. So we've got to mark very, very closely and then maybe use that extra defensive mid to make sure that we're filling in the passing lanes.
Ball cleared up the left side here.
Still a battle on that outside. There's Mary Kate Magnus looking to play across the center. Ramanzada's got a little bit of space. She and Mary Kate. Now she's got Ramanzada down the line if she can get it.
Nice defensive play there out of Piedmont, number 22. That's Lindsay Stevenson. She's a freshman defender. They are young. They've got some really good young talent out there at Piedmont. It's a nice play by her.
Jalen Johnson on the ball. Can she
Push
get it
up
through?
here. Just nobody home.
I think she was hoping Ramanzada was going to clear into space or start running into space. Ramanzada was playing a little bit more tighter to the line, maybe looking for something in the center. And that'll really just be definitional role, because it seems like Layla wants to play that point person, play the ball to her, and she's going to connect the forward. And everybody else is kind of playing her as a true forward, looking for her to run into space. So Coach Brewster will want to define those roles a little bit more once halftime rolls around.
Mary Kate with a very nice defensive play.
Yep.
And she gets pushed in the back there by Ashley McMahon, who's already had words with the official there. So she just didn't like the great play there out of Mary Kate. Mary Kate with a very nice play, and she ends up pushing. Didn't get a card out of it, though, so that's 2 for her. I think they're probably paying attention to that. So Riley will take the free kick here. She kicks it up to the middle and up
Hansing
to
on the
Lily
ball.
Hansing.
Still up on the ball. She's got 3 or 4 defenders that she's got to deal with. Pass back was probably a little bit heavy, but an opportunity.
Yeah, ball cleared out nicely there by Lindsay Stevenson again. So Heritage Hall will have a throw in there from midfield, taken by Laney Gray. Under a minute and a half now, minute 13 to go here in the first half. Still knotted at 1. Heritage will have a lot to talk about, as both teams will. Piedmont will be frustrated having been tied at 1 with the lack of shots on goal by Heritage Hall. That will be the discussion there. They'll feel like that they didn't give up many shots and are still tied at 1, and they got a lot of shots and didn't take advantage of them. Heritage will have to talk about the fact that they've not played very well on defense other than Riley Orton, and I'm mainly talking about
that's trouble.
And that's down.
Oh, and the referee's not going to have any of that.
Boy, I tell you what, that was very, very close. I mean, the ball did squirt free, but I don't know that it was because she took the ball away. I think it was because she got tripped and the ball went free. That was a key play of the game there for sure. But,
yeah.
And it would have, of course, been a penalty kick and probably a 2-1 deficit before half. It would have taken a lot to make the call, but I will tell you, that looked to me like maybe I've got on Charger glasses. Maybe it's possible. If I was on the other sideline, I would said let him play. But I mean, it looked to me like they tripped her and the ball rolled free. So
yeah, that was that looked like it's a strong non-call that we'll have to review.
So
there.
that is definitely something. And the time runs out here in the first half of the game, 1-1, very evenly matched game. As we said, both teams left some on the field, and with that last little no call there, an interesting end to the first half, a lot of exciting soccer in the first half. But we are at halftime, so 10-minute halftime intermission coming your way. We are going to take a quick break, come right back. We'll break down the first half, and get you ready what is going to surely be an exciting second half. You're listening and watching Heritage Hall Charger Soccer.
I've got $10,000 that says Joe Cooper will beat any other Ford dealer's price on a new Ford.
I'll beat any Ford dealer's price on a new Ford by $500.
Or we'll give you $10,000 cash. Check it out. Get a new 2017 Escape for only $16,849 or just $159 a month. Or get a new F-150 Super Crew STX for only $299 a month. Getting the best buy of the week is fast, fun, and easy at Joe Cooper Ford. Who loves you, Oklahoma?
Come see us at Joe Cooper Ford.
You're like most of us. You've got junk in your garage. Heavy junk. It's taking up space. It's collecting dust. Here's a thought. Do something about it. While you're at it, let's clean out the shed, the spare room, maybe a little more in the garage. Big or small, just point and it's gone. Junk Boss. Your junk goes here.
Since 2014, our fans have been the backbone of the club. Fans keep supporting us on the field, in the community, and are the driving force of our success. Our fans create an exciting atmosphere that drives charisma, excellence, and passion. Energy fans, we thank you and welcome you to year number 5.
There are moments that define us, that shape our character, that make us who we are. But what if there were no moments for the children of Oklahoma City? Our kids lack the most basic requirement to participate in sports, a field. It's our time to enable our children to create their own defining moment. To provide resources like an empowered coach, safe equipment, in a field that they can call home.
When you walk into Fuzzy's Taco Shop, you'll know you're in the right place. With the best Baja-style menu in town, we'll have the whole family addicted.
Order up.
Nachos, tacos, burritos, it doesn't matter. It's like an explosion of flavor in your mouth. We know you've had a long day, and you deserve a break. So, bring the crew to one of the Fuzzy's Taco Shop locations in Norman, Oklahoma City, or Stillwater. Welcome to your new addiction. Eat.
Mercedes-Benz of Oklahoma City is proud to offer the leader of luxury SUVs, the new 2018 Mercedes-Benz GLE 350.
We were looking for a powerful luxury SUV that's easy to handle. Safety is always a concern when driving on the highway, and we were really impressed with all the safety features on the GLE. It has a lot of cargo space, and that's very important to me when I'm hauling the family around. Our sales associate made our experience very memorable. It was just that easy.
Only at Mercedes-Benz of Oklahoma City.
I've got $10,000 that says Joe Cooper will beat any other Ford dealer's price on a new Ford.
Now beat any Ford dealer's price on a new Ford by $500.
Or we'll give you $10,000 cash. Check it out. Get a new 2017 Escape for only $16,849 or just $159 a month. Or get a new F-150 Super Crew SCX for only $299 a month. Getting the best buy of the week is fast, fun, and easy at Joe Cooper Ford. Who loves you, Oklahoma?
Come see us at Joe Cooper Ford.
That's fine. And we're back. Welcome back. 3.5 minutes to go here. You're at halftime of the girls' game, Lady Chargers versus Piedmont. And as we visit the first half and kind of put a bow on that as we head toward the second half, we were talking about, as we headed into this halftime part, talking about keys of the game. But honestly, we've got a lot to talk about anyway. So your thoughts of the first half, and where do we go from here?
Well, it's been a little bit of a tale of two teams. You know, the Piedmont team is stringing together some passes, really picking on those wide defenders for the Chargers, looking to exploit the corners and bring those crosses in, and that's really what worked for them in the first half, and they got their goal from that. They were able to beat a defender on the left side, get around her, place a great cross into the center where there was a forward just sitting on the penalty spot waiting for the ball, brought it down to her feet, and had an open goal to be able to put it in. So Piedmont, you know, they're playing their game. Heritage, on the flip side, is playing more of a counter-attack game where they're absorbing that attack as much as they can and then looking for those over-the-top passes to the forwards, usually Jalen Johnson or Ramazada, and then just leaving it up to them to beat their defenders, which what happened in the first half. You know, we got a couple opportunities on one-on-one, or where they were able to get around the defender, just couldn't get a really good shot off, and it ended up having to be a free kick from Riley Orton to be able to put a ball in the back box and have a Mary Kate Magnus run on an uncontested ball and head it in.
Yeah, you know, and I always look at things a couple different ways. That's how I look at it. There's another way you could look at it, how a grandparent would look at it. A grandparent would say, okay, they beat two of our defenders at midfield. Then they went back, a great cross to a late Laney Gray, who probably learned from that, and then a great trap, and then a one-kick goal. And by the way, that happened in the first 4 minutes, and then no other attack like that even got close. That happened. And then down on our goal, we had an unbelievably great cross to a heading that we haven't done all year. So that's how a grandma would. So there are a couple of you're right, though. A couple of different ways to look at it. So I'm sure Coach Brewster is picking our way in that we cannot give up those. We cannot do that. You can't get beat. We need more offensive attacks. So you're right. I mean, there's a couple different ways to look at it. I'm sure in Piedmont's side, they're talking about all the missed opportunities, all the ways they could improve what they did, and taking advantage of the athletic disparity when you get the opportunity. We both have matchup places where we can do more, and it's taking advantage of those. As we head into the second half, do you think it's more of an opportunity where you try to take advantage? Do you do more pushing offensively if you're the Heritage Hall Chargers, or do you play defense like you're playing and then try to take advantage of what I count 4 maybe opportunities offensively? Do you try to just rely on 4 more, or do you try to get a few more? What do you do?
Well, you with the strength of this Piedmont team, you kind of have to feel like that they're going to create another opportunity that they may score on. So you don't want to rest on just kind of parking the bus and hoping you can get into an overtime situation.
And frankly, we didn't talk about that. We have not fared well in PK situation. As great as our goalie situation has been, I don't think we've blocked a PK yet. So I don't know, getting to that point to where we probably want to end up.
Yeah, so we're, at some point we're going to have to start taking some chances, maybe moving Mary Kay up top, seeing if we can get into a speed and skill mismatch that I think that very well may be there. The big thing that I see for the Chargers is they're going to have to close down the Wildcats a lot faster in midfield. Right now, they're again absorbing that attack, letting the passes come to play, and trying to intercept the passes or step in front of a weak pass. We really need to get in there and challenge their touches so that we can play off of it and get it up to our attackers much more quickly.
Well, what I saw over the halftime 10 minutes was an animated Coach Brewster getting in the middle of her girls and trying to shore up some of those mistakes and figuring things out. Not sure exactly how much strategy went into the conversation at halftime, but definitely shoring up some mistakes. There's been some specific talks going out to Mary Kate. I was wondering if there would be any talk about maybe moving Lainey Gray up if you do go to an offensive set, but I don't think that was even probably discussed. Her and her assistant coach certainly will probably discuss some of that. As far as Piedmont goes, anything in particular they probably look to do, or just more of the same and then just to capitalize on those opportunities?
I really just more of the same. Watch for the counterattack, but really they've seen that we're really absorbing their attacks and giving them the possession on the ball. So if you're a Piedmont coach, you have to feel like my girls are strong enough that the goals will come.
And probably keeping their head is another thing. Here goes something I'm sure they've worked on in practice. That was actually a good clear by Katie Ross, although it's going to be a corner kick. That was something they've worked on in practice. When they get the streaker down the sidelines, they had her open for a minute, and Katie cleared it out of bounds. So there'll be a corner kick coming from Piedmont here to open the second half. But yeah, that and as I was saying before that, keeping their heads. They did have a couple, including one of their really good forwards, number 6, Ashlyn McMahon, a junior midfielder, actually got in a couple of different shoving situations. They'll want to make sure that they don't get her in any type of spots.
Wow, that's a dangerous ball in the box. Cleared out.
Clear by Elena Wilson, who cleared it out, and that was a great corner and then cleared. And it turns into an offensive push if we can get the ball up here.
Yeah, great job by Mary Kate to track back. Here's run through. Layla Romanzada getting in the foot race in that back. Keeper's coming out. Dangerous play by the keeper. She really they got there a little bit late, gave Layla a chance on the ball and was able to clear it out. But, just as you say, keeping their heads and, really a lot, staying aware of your role and staying aware of your position on the field. The Piedmont set the tone. They went deep and tried to sneak one behind us right off the bat, and they're going to continue to put pressure on us.
They did a dangerous spot. Great play by Elena Wilson to clear that ball and get it out of there. And Heritage Hall back on the offense here is Mary Kate pushing up the far side there now into Romanzada's hands, and she gets it over now, trying to cross it here into Elena's hands, and she gets it.
Great opportunity there.
Yeah, walled off there. Great job by number 9 for Piedmont. That's Sophia Rodriguez, another freshman defender. They've got a lot of freshmen on that team. She did a really nice job of walling off Elena Wilson, who had come into view here. Here's
a little ambitious. I mean, again, Mary Kate's got a good left foot. She beat her defender, and boy,
dribbles.
Yeah, you bring it down. Have the confidence that you can get into that box, and especially as much as they're as physical as Piedmont's playing, if you can get into that box, there is a better than not chance they're going to knock you down.
Well, and with her and her great dribbling skill, her great ball skill, I mean, just getting into the box, they're going to have to deal with her. And that is, you're right. I mean, it's some type of being knocked down, or there were only a couple of possible threats, possible defenders to have to handle her.
Yeah.
Good
job coming out and communicating with Riley on that one. That one, a fairly aggressive ball coming in at it. The keeper, Gabby Bowen, and she did a good job calling off Riley.
Laney Gray sends it up. Mary Kate chasing after it. Cleared out of the way there by Lindsay Stevenson, another freshman back there playing defense for Piedmont. So if you are a parent or grandparent of a freshman or sophomore Heritage Hall player, settle in, because this Piedmont team is young, and they're going to be here for a while unless the teachers don't go back to school, and then maybe they'll transfer over here and play for us.
So. Maybe so. That is a possibility at this point. I say that
tongue-in-cheek, of course, but yeah, they are young. They've got freshmen sprinkled in everywhere, all across the defensive defensive side, and a couple of midfielders as well, and then sophomores other spots. So they're going to be around a while. Elena Wilson here with the throw in here on our sidelines. She throws it in.
Yeah, and Layla Ramzad has had some luck early in the second half with challenges versus her defenders. She's got more skill than the defenders she's gone up against real quick. So if we can still kind of try to exploit that, she's been able to find some space behind them.
Yeah, you feel like we have not had enough opportunities offensively to take advantage of our athletic ability versus some of their, as we've now talked about a lot, very, very young defenders. We are more athletic. That did not look like much. I mean, the girl fell down.
And they may have clipped toes or clipped feet. And it certainly wasn't intentional.
And it wasn't as much as the thing that happened in the penalty box over there right before the first half. Thankfully, it was outside the box. So otherwise, Mr. Ramanzada, for one, would be losing his mind. We may need to get the paddles because that was it turns into a quasi corner kick over here. So hopefully we can take care of this.
Good lofting ball. That's trouble. Can she get it? Oh, good job by Gabby Bowen to chase that one down. He really didn't come off of a Piedmont player very well, kind of more rolled off of her. But
yeah, we didn't look very organized on that. It would be nice to see us attack that more like a corner kick, I think.
But Gabby did a really good job of staying with it and keeping her eye on the ball and able to snag it out of the air before it went into the goal.
Yeah, nice play there by number 21 for Piedmont, Lauren Stevenson, a junior defender who stopped the ball in mid-bounce there. Mary Kate was back there. If she doesn't stop that and keep it from advancing forward, Mary Kate would have had a one-on-one there. Another good play there by Lauren Stevenson.
A little bit of a heavy kick. Those balls, I think it's a good thought. If she can angle a little bit more towards the corner flag, either probably even across the field, she'll give her players a little bit more time to run on that ball and give the keeper a little bit more distance to have to cover.
Yeah, these young defenders for Piedmont, I'm not sure how flat out fast they are, but they definitely, because they're so long, they cover a lot of ground. And so if you send one in, it cannot be 20 yards because once they get their legs going, they are now that's offside.
Yep.
They definitely called it, so that's
definitely a good eye there.
But once they get their legs going, so those 20-yard send-ins, you had better be even with them and be outrun them. As you talked about earlier, if they give them a 5-yard head start and you try to send it 20 yards down, you're going to have trouble catching up because they are very, very long, have long strides, and are not slow by any stretch. So, kick here by Riley Orton. Kicked in. That's number 21, Stevenson again.
Yeah, and again, another ball that over most defenders probably would have skipped over them, but when you have a very tall defender like that, she's able to stop a lot of attacks.
Yeah, it doesn't say, but I think she is probably at least 6 feet tall.
I would have guessed that as well. Much quicker pace, I think, to the second half than there was in the end of the first half.
Yeah, nice play over here offensively by Piedmont. Cleared out there by Avery. Nice play there by her as she stops that play. That was
throwing for the Wildcats. Dangerous, giving them any sort of possession in that box because we've seen how quickly they can get controlled and spin and take that shot. So we don't want to give them that much time or space.
Yeah, two very good soccer teams. So it just does not take much for a seemingly normal play to turn into an offensive threat here. Another throw in here for Piedmont here as we head under 30 minutes to go here in the game.
Lofting cross in the box. Riley Orton's able to get her head on that and clear it out to the right. Macy Moore just putting it out of bounds, letting the defense reset. Quick throw in. Could be trouble if she can get. That's dangerous ball. And offsides.
So a free kick from there. We go quick here up to Elena is going to be coming back.
I guess maybe the ball wasn't stopped. I'm not sure what the referee was.
They wanted to come over where she was offsides from.
Gotcha. So Riley Orton will try it again with much more attentive defense. Riley's picking out the forwards very, very well. A lot of her crosses are going right to where they need to go. It's just a matter of the touch and those forwards bringing it down under control.
Yeah, we haven't been real sharp all day, putting 2 and 3 passes together, which against the better teams, those are the days you need to have those extra passes.
Mm-hmm. Well, just to slow down the pace of the game. Laney's got had Jalen just ahead of her, a little heavy on that pass. Got to watch the counterattack here. Riley's just going to clear it out of space. And again, it's that tall defender. You just can't get around number 21, who's Lauren Stevenson.
Pass up from Katie Ross to Avery there, and it's cleared back in the zone by Piedmont, so it'll be a throw-in from deep inside the zone for Heritage Hall. Should be.
I think he's calling a Piedmont throw-in, so it must have deflected off of a Heritage Hall player, and they're going to go quick. And that player was offsides. Piedmont's done that a couple of times. They're not afraid to necessarily put themselves in an offside position and put the linesman in a role that he has to make that call.
Well, which is not a bad idea. I mean, it puts the pressure on the official and on Heritage Hall's defense. And this was actually an out of bounds. And when she went back to the girl who threw it in, she was still in the out of bounds area. So try for the offensive tack and thwarted there by Riley. Katie Ross stops that press out of bounds. So it'll be a throw in for Piedmont. Number 22 is going to take that. That's Lindsay Stevenson, the freshman. She throws it in.
Player on the outside, that's a dangerous ball. I would like to see Riley, she's clearing the ball out and relieving pressure, but she's really not under a tremendous amount of pressure, so she's got a little bit more time than I think she thinks she has. It'd probably be good if she can take a second, maybe start trying to connect that pass with Jalen Johnson or Ramazada rather than just putting a 50-50 ball into the air.
All of the defenders right now, and I've seen this a lot out of Katie Ross for sure, just trying not to make a mistake. I mean, just trying to clear the ball, get it out of the zone, not give up any of that to where they get the ball in front and give up something quick to go down 2-1 instead of being patient, taking a deep breath, and I'm not sure what the problem there was.
Yeah, the fans tend to agree with you as well. The referees calling it a push in the back may have been more momentum than anything, but either way, referee called it.
Well, cleared out. The kick in was cleared out by Katie there, and now up the left side by Elena, and nobody's home over there, but it definitely clears the pressure up. So be a throw in on the far side there by Piedmont, and Heritage Hall's defense can reset here. We had under 30 minutes to go here in the game, still 1-1. A lot of time left here, no reason to panic.
Both teams are playing well. They're settling into their game once again.
And very reminiscent of the first half. Haven't been any goals yet, but more you would call opportunities out of Piedmont for sure, but not capitalizing, and Heritage Hall really playing not to make a mistake to this point. But we saw a lot of that in the first half, and then Heritage Hall being able to take advantage of one of their few offensive opportunities.
Lena Wilson almost able to retrieve that one. Laney Gray just playing it out to the outside. And again, just like you said, trying not to make a mistake, not necessarily controlling and starting an attack.
Yeah, there's definitely a little bit of that conservative mindset. I don't want to be the one to make a mistake. There need to be a few more deep breaths, especially out of the majority of the defenders, and understanding, relying on their ability and making better passes instead of just clearing.
A lot of space for the Piedmont midfielder. Ends up getting to Riley Orton, but Riley not able to clear it out completely. It's a lofting shot. Gabby able to collect it very easily.
Yeah, we would probably take those all day long. They want to take 20-yard shots at Gabby. She's going to be able to handle most of those. So good kick out for Gabby. It's past the midfield area.
Mary Kate loses it, but that's an opportunity. If she can stay on her feet, can she get it across in? And it ended up being a goal kick.
Yeah, that looked like, we certainly don't have the best angle on that. But
yeah, I'm a little surprised that didn't hit off the defender to go out, but with the way she kicked it in.
Mr. Ramanzada thinks he had a very good angle of that one, and he's
voicing his opinion.
Definitely not agreeing with that call, but it will be a goal kick nevertheless. Heritage Hall ChargerVision would like to thank Venue 104 for taking amazing care of our students every day at lunch and serving the state's best game day gourmet concessions. Venue 104. Lily Hansing into the game. She checks in. She'll be moved into the forward position. And she pushes up. She's going to try to go collect this one. And she does.
Yeah, she's got a couple of people around her. She can find somebody's feet to play off of. Oh, that was Jalen looking for Mary Kate. Mary Kate was
just turned the wrong direction and a little bit tired.
Yep, I think you're exactly right. She looks like she's a little bit fatigued, and she's had to battle up there, and a lot of the time battle by herself. So, got to be careful on that one.
Yeah, one of the great things about Mary Kate is that you don't have to guess how she's feeling.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell she wears it all right on her sleeve.
And she'll put it out in the field.
Yep.
And fatigue's going to start to play in this. These girls have been running hard and battling hard, and that's when the mistakes really start happening. And you can see how high pressed the Piedmont team is. They've got 5-6 attackers up in the attacking third, so they're ready to pounce.
Yeah, well, our counterattacks have been really, really successful off of that at this point in the game, and just like this. I mean, that was a very good defensive play by 22. She's just a freshman too, or by 21. That's offsides again. She was offsides the whole way. But Lauren Stevenson and Lindsay Stevenson, those I'm sure they're sisters. They're both about 6 feet tall and both last name Stevenson. That would be quite the coincidence. But both of those girls, they played really, really well today. But those type of counterattacks we have really been good at this point in the game taking advantage of, including last week's game. So,
and we're inches away from it, just working very well. I mean, inches high or inches low or just to the two inside.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like that we're going to get a couple more of those opportunities. At least one more one-on-one with the keeper. We just have to keep trying to play that game. And with Mary Kate up there, I feel like that she can beat these defenders one-on-one. She just needs those opportunities with the ball at her feet.
Yep. Cleared out there by Katie Ross, up kind of cleared.
Oh, that's trouble if Gabby's got to come out and smother it. Good job by Gabby to read that ball.
Very, very nice by Gabby. She was getting some pressure there out of Kylie Swanson. She's a senior forward who had the earlier goal. Played well today.
Avery Brown's done a pretty good job about battling up or in that midfield. Oh, that's a great ball across. Good job by Gabby to come out and block that ball.
Yep, very, very nice. Gabby's played a very good game today. She really has. The one goal that got her was not really
much
her.
She can do,
It's her, and she's playing a good goalie game against a team like this really is a lot about knowing when to come out, when not. And here we get one of those other corner kicks that I promise you Piedmont has feasted on against most teams. So last time they had this, Elena Wilson made an unbelievably great play to save it, and Gabby needs to be real aggressive here. There you go. Great play by Lainey Gray there to stifle that, and we're going to get another one, though. She's going to have to do 2 in a row.
Yeah, we got to be careful about those low shots. She obviously can put a lot of power in it. It's a rebound that goes in the goal, so we'll need to make sure to stay in front of it, keep our body between the ball and the goal, and clear it out.
Yeah, these are the ones communication certainly is key. That's way too far. That'd be good.
We'll take that.
Yeah, that'd be good. So threat diverted again. That's good. Katie Ross will have a throw in from the far side. We can hopefully get a push out here. So we had under 21 minutes here to go in the game. Again, still 1-1. Early goal. If you're just tuning in late, we had an early goal on an offensive push out of Piedmont about the 4th or 5th minute in the game. And then Heritage Hall tied the game up. We headed deeper into the first half with a free. That's another push in the back. As usual, we've got Riley Orton, her physical play, upsetting one of the Piedmont players, and she gets pushed in the back. Sometimes when you use your body correctly, the other girls get a little irritated with that, and it's another example of that. So Riley will get a free kick.
The referee's going to have to kind of watch it. I can kind of see the chippiness starting to come out a little bit. He doesn't want let this game get away from him.
Well, anytime you get a team that is 10-1 on the year, or whatever they are, and scored 20 goals in the last 2 games, and they're young, they're not used to losing and not used to being tied, and feel like they've gotten the best of you, emotions will run high, and they are one mistake away from being down. So one of the good things about our girls is that they have not panicked to this point in the year. They are not a team that is going to be overwhelmed by the situation, and most of the time they're not going to lose their cool. So it's going to be interesting to see how the next 19 and a half play out. I think the longer it goes with Piedmont not in the lead, the better off we are. I think they are more likely to make a mistake, more likely to get a card of some kind, because they are used to success.
Careful on that shot. A little ambitious again from 24 or from 24 yards out.
Yeah, there's just no reason to take that. We've got 4 girls against their 4 defenders and a girl with the ball who knows how to distribute. So those are those chances we should take advantage of and get a push in. So a goal kick for Piedmont.
Yeah, you kind of feel that as the game wears on, that Piedmont's going to start trying to push higher and higher up the field, and that's going to create more isolation for Mary Kate at the top, which is going to play into our favor.
Throw in by Elena Wilson here.
Layla Roman's out in the back. Ball goes out of bounds. Good quick play. And it'll be out of bounds again. Chargers pushing up in the Piedmont defense now.
Yeah, I'm just slowly moving it down there. And these are those opportunities. The last time, you remember, the last goal we had was off the dead ball down in their zone. I think the more opportunities we have to set up our offense with some type of dead ball situation in their zone, those are where we're going to have the most opportunities. Now, the counterattack absolutely benefits them. Those girls having an opportunity to run the other direction against our defenders. There's a aggressive play, and that's just outside the box.
Yep, and that looks like it's going to end up being a card on their sweeper. So this is a prime opportunity for the Chargers. That number 21's really been the one to keep the Chargers from.
Her and her sister both are very big athletic girls. That's Stevenson.
Not sure. Looks like the referee has changed his mind. It was an offside call from the sidelines judge, so that negates the yellow card, and the player doesn't have to come back out because, in theory, the play never happened. The foul never happened.
I watched the foul.
I saw it, too.
I watched it.
I remember exactly how it happened.
It seems like she was put on her head by the girl, number 21. Uh-oh.
A little bit of a conference between the referee. I think the referee's going to explain that there was an offside before the foul happened, so that made it to where the foul didn't count.
So basically this is that rule where if you say no offense, you can basically call somebody anything you want after that.
Kind of like
That's
that,
what
yeah.
It is. Okay,
yeah.
I get it.
Or with all due respect.
With all due respect, got it. You can say all due respect and then call them whatever you want. I did not know soccer had that rule.
Yeah, that's the
I stand corrected.
The dark area of soccer.
Well, Ricky Bobby has that. He said, I said no offense, and then he calls you whatever you want. So, all right, noted. Because it seems like that happened.
Yeah, that kind of really, the whistle blew, the flag was up, so I'm going to go ahead and...
it could go gangs to New York after that.
Exactly.
So soft sides, and everybody takes their shank out and gets after each other. Okay.
Exactly.
I see. I had no idea that was the rule.
Yeah.
But don't look now, we're on a little bit more of an offensive push here, so...
Watch that. There's some gaps in the Heritage Hall defense. You're going to have to watch that outside run. And then we got a center run. Riley Orton's cheating in. Midfield's got to make sure to work its way back. And she's offside, so get your shanks out.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. This looks like she's big eggs in New York right now. Like West Side Story. We should circle up and start snapping here. So
Ball is in play.
Nice play there by Katie. She clears it up to nobody. Back to Piedmont again. Who we're passing the ball to would be nice here.
Yeah, and that's going to be one of the the big things this team really needs to work on is, again, we're a clearing type ball and a counterattacking team, and if we're clearing out into space, then we're just creating 50-50 balls, and we've got to learn to get around that and play the feet.
Yeah, no reason to do that at this point. We've got the ball. We might as well get it to somebody we know. Special thanks to Quail Creek Bank for supporting us again this year. Your connection to better banking. Go to quailcreekbank.com, member FDIC.
Gabby Bowen once again called to do a goal kick, try to relieve pressure and get the ball down the field.
Ball out of bounds. Be a throw in by either Lily Hansing or Katie. Big thank you to Texadelphia Social Grill for being presenting sponsor of ChargerVision since 2013. Tex-Mex meets Philadelphia cream cheese or cheesesteak, sorry. And your taste buds are the winner. Stop by the Lower Bricktown location to make every day a Texadelphia day. Throw in here by Hansing as we're again moving it up the far sidelines a little bit at a time. She directs Ramanzada up the side. Kate Magnus gets it, a little push in the back as the ball goes out of bounds, and a throw in by Rodriguez for Piedmont.
If we can defend the Piedmont players up on their end of the field, we can certainly look for those counters. And again, if we put a little bit of pressure on them, then they're going to start making mistakes, and I think that that's where we can really capitalize on them.
Throw in here by Hansing. Shout out to another amazing sponsor, Energy FC Soccer. Kick it with the city's.
A little bit of a play in the box. Ramanzada kind of looping a ball over a defender. Got an ooh out of the crowd, but just too many defenders around her. Ooh, and Lainey Gray takes a hard hit there, but
no call on that.
No call on that. Now they're looking for that play across the outside. A little bit of space. Riley Orton there to clean it up, and that'll end up being a corner kick. It looks like. Yep, looks like he's calling a corner kick.
Going to be a corner kick for Piedmont.
Kind of thought Riley had put it off of the Piedmont defender's foot, but the sideline judge saw it differently. So Chargers going to have to be strong in the box.
Another dangerous situation here.
Playing it out deep. Now the Chargers get out. And trying to sneak in behind the Chargers there, but Chargers do a really good job of defending that one. You got to be dangerous because the Chargers are always, your defense is eager to push forward once the ball's been cleared out on a corner kick, and it's easy to forget about the person who took the corner kick.
And cleared up by Ellie.
Now can she
up to Mary Kate, and she's
still got some space.
Back up to Mary Kate. Some few passes there taken away by Piedmont.
Good opportunity of Mary Kate cut it back to the inside. I felt like if she kind of continued to the outside a little bit, then she would have won that foot race and be able to clear it through later. Keep her staying on her line for this one, so she's going to make the defender just clear it out. And so that'll create an opportunity for the Chargers.
Yeah, another one of those dead ball situations. We'll get a throw in, be able to reset an offensive setup here. So good opportunity for Heritage Hall. Shout out to another throw in here. Ramanzada getting it.
She's going to take a quick shot, low hitting That was a good, strong shot, low-driven shot. Keeper did a good job of collecting it and getting over the ball so it didn't bounce away. But why not test the keeper?
Keeper clears the ball out to midfield.
Now it's a little bit of trouble. There's 2 players in the center. Can Riley get her foot on it? Good job by Riley to disrupt that. Had to do that. If she couldn't get her foot on that, then the attacker had 2 people she could have passed to.
And the ball goes across to be a throw-in for Heritage Hall.
Yeah, that really was a critical play by Riley Orton. There was basically a 3-on-2 for Piedmont, and the player almost looked like she had beat Riley, and Riley was able to get her foot on it and disrupt the dribble, so the player didn't have very much freedom. But if she hadn't have done that, that would have been surely a goal for Piedmont.
The ball scrum. Ramanzada comes out up to Mary Kate, who's going to try to beat her defender.
And she does. Can she get her?
Oh,
defender gets her foot in the way. A little bit of a wrestling match up top, but ends up being a corner kick. Good job by Mary Kate.
By Mary Kate. Good no call. It'll be a corner kick coming from Elena Wilson. A good opportunity for Heritage Hall here. Might want to push Riley Orton up here and try to get a goal out of this. This is one of those opportunities. Here comes Riley.
Yeah, I think they read your mind.
Yeah. This is one of those opportunities where we get a dead ball, offensive set, and it's a corner kick. And these opportunities, what the girls have had a problem with is trying to get a foot on it when really just a body part. Well, this one will require a foot. But
it's a little bit of the outside. Not much
cleared
room
out.
there.
Now we got to get back here.
Yep.
Everybody's got to get back.
Big foot race here to the outside. She just shielded it. There you go. Now give your defense a chance to get back, get organized.
Yeah, everybody take your time here. We'll get everybody get set. Shout out to another amazing sponsor, Energy FC Soccer. Kick it with the city's best soccer team. Single game and season tickets are available. Call 235-KICK or go online to energyfc.com.
Off Katie Ross. A little bit of a wrestle. There's, again, some space. She's offsides again. That left forward just struggling to judge Riley Orton and where to play that line. She's always a step ahead, which speaks to Riley Orton's capability of managing that back line.
Yep. So Riley with a free kick as we tick under 10 minutes here to go in the game. Still tied at 1. All of the scoring came in the first half if you're tuning in late. And something fell off of somebody. I don't know what that was. It was
headband, maybe? I don't know. Really quite bunched up there. Crowd very into this game now.
Yeah, well, everybody understands anytime you get the 2 leaders in the district, and when you're talking about girls high school soccer in Oklahoma, the district is a huge, huge deal, and these are the 2 teams at this point that have emerged at this point in the season as the favorites in both the boys and the girls. So we are playing for keeps, and they do get the call there. There'll be a free kick here for Piedmont. So the defense will move back down and get set for a free kick coming from Piedmont. Another one of those situations where they're going to send in a free ball, another potential scoring opportunity. The freshman, Stevenson, will take this free kick.
Yeah, she's going to look to put it right behind the 18 line if she can.
Sends it in.
Riley Orton.
Riley Orton doing her thing and trying to clear it here. Avery.
That's trouble. Don't let her get her foot on it. That's a lofting ball. Thank goodness she got under that. But, man, again, she seems to have that power that if she can get over the top of that could be a challenging ball to save.
Yep. Another opportunity, but it goes for naught. And we'll get a goal kick here. Goal kick coming. For the most part, I mean, everybody's fatigued at this point as we wind down. Heritage Hall's made very few subs, so the girls that are playing are the Katie Ross sends it up to midfield. There's a few of them there.
Jalen Johnson's there. Now Hampton. They're really wanting to try to feed Mary Kate back here in this line. And, again, we're just kind of in that absorb the attack frame of mind. Could be a challenge. Boy, this is a dangerous ball.
Oh, no. Oh,
yeah.
boy. Gosh.
Dangerous ball for the Chargers. Drops in and hits a Piedmont player in the foot, and it falls perfectly for another Piedmont player just sitting on top of the box. But the Charger defense was outnumbered at the time and really couldn't mark everybody, and Piedmont took advantage.
Yeah, another one of those where just everything went from a neutral to a positive for Piedmont in a hurry. They get across, they get a good bounce, a good kick, and then a goal. So 2-1, Piedmont, 7:15 to go in the game. So Heritage Hall going back on the offense here. They're pushing up the side here.
Yep, and Chargers are going to have to now work very, very hard to not panic, but keep possession, connect, take advantage of the matchups up top.
Yeah, and we will see most likely more of an aggressive formation out of Heritage Hall at this point.
Yeah, I mean, and at this point, I'd almost put see if we can't roll Lainey Gray up top a little bit more, get her speed involved, give another target to the Chargers, because right now the defense is just triple teaming Mary Kate Magnus when she's up there.
Yeah, we have not had enough of an offensive push. I mean, I don't know how many shots on goal we've had or actual, other than the 20-yard shots, but there haven't been many. And it give a lot of credit to Piedmont's defense, where they played really well. But we just, we've chose to go with a defensive mindset, and that's worked for the most part. But a couple of really good pushes out of Piedmont have gotten a couple of goals in. So now we travel under 6 minutes to go in the game, and we're looking to try to tie it up here.
Yep, and the Piedmont can just kind of make sure that they're devoting people in the back.
Yeah, Ramanzada travels up the side. She's back into the box.
She can't tried to get the ball stopped, but really wasn't able to get her foot around it. And that forward, Aspen Cope for Piedmont, she's dropped into defense. So they're the Piedmont's investing a lot in their defense just to hold this one-goal lead.
Well, we know that all too well. I mean, when you get a lead, you play some defense and try to hold the lead, and so we're going to need something good to happen here, and in a game where we have not had but a handful of legitimate, really aggressive offensive opportunities, we're going to need something good to happen fast.
That comes off of Mary Kate Magnus, so throw in for Piedmont. Not a lot of pressure from the Chargers on Piedmont's touch of the ball. And they're going to have to rush Piedmont. And that just ends up being a wasted play out. So Piedmont will get their opportunity deeper in our end.
4:37 to go in the half. In the game, actually. Huge thank you to Stanley's Graduation Service, offering Jolson products. Conveniently located in Edmond for all your high school graduation needs, class rings, letter jackets, announcements, championship rings. Celebrating moments that matter. Stanley's Graduation Service. Free kick coming for Heritage Hall. Riley Orton sends it up. Just past the midfield stripe.
Avery Brown on the ball, trying to cross the field. Not quite enough, but ends up getting it over to Lily Hansen anyway, and Lily's going to transfer it right back. Some good play.
Just that third pass has been an issue all day long.
Yep, that was trouble. Got to be careful. That was a risky move by the keeper, Gabby Bowen, come out, and especially putting her foot up like that. You never know how that ball's going to fall, and now it's an unmarked goal. But good job of her getting her foot on it. It's like Mary Kate's dropped back into the midfield. Again, a little bit of a collision.
Gets a ball into the face, it looks like. So it's a header off of one of the Piedmont girls and then hits Ramanzada in the face. So she is down for the time being.
Hopefully she's okay.
Yeah.
When you're not looking at that, but soccer ball swings by and smacks you in the head, it can jiggle the brain a little bit.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, she doesn't look all that steady.
Yeah, I think it was luckily I think it was a ball to the face instead of a head to the face.
Yeah, I think it was the soccer ball.
Nothing is great, but a ball beats some of the other options. So 3:21 here to go in the game. Of course, stay tuned. We'll have our player of the game after this. And the boys' game coming up to follow probably 20 minutes or so after the game. Amazada getting checked out on the field. She's had a really good game. It's just, our offensive push, we just haven't been able to put together enough forwards, enough offensive forwards in the play at the same time to get that third pass.
We're heavily dependent on individual play at this point in the strategy, playing it up and expecting our forwards to beat 2 or 3 defenders. And it's a lot to ask for them. We have our forwards are very, very good so that they often can do that against some, even decent teams. But when you have a team of this caliber and a defense of this caliber, it's a lot to ask.
Yeah, it reminds me of the boys' game against Class and SAS when they did not have John Matthews out, and it was just
Connor
Carey, and he would get into some spots, and it would be good, but then there would be a collapse of 2 or 3 athletic guys that were just like him, and they would be able to thwart any type of offensive threat. So it's been similar to that today. We've gotten very few opportunities where we've had multiple offensive push girls be able to push forward and get an opportunity.
Yep, I would agree, and that's something that Coach Brewster's really going to have to work on from her strategy is that because that'll work with some of the weaker teams, but obviously with these teams like this, you got to be able to play different kind of soccer.
Yeah, I don't want to blame one person. I choose to blame everybody. Ooh. And that was a
late hit.
That's a yellow card to her. She pushed Katie in the back and then pushed her in the front afterwards, and that's going to get her a yellow card. So she is down. Katie is back up because she is made of metal.
That's right. She's got a smile on her face saying, bring it on.
We do not allow any type of injuries at the Ross house unless something is broke. So she's going to get up, shake it off. As bad as she's played, she's going to jog down the field and shake it off and try to go help out. So here we go again. We're back under 3 minutes to play now in the game.
Chargers really have to put something together now. Got to possess the ball, keep it off of Piedmont's feet. Wow, and that's a challenge. That's trouble there. Can keeper come out? Great save by Gabby Bowen. Able to get her hand down and collect that ball. Boy, that was a goal save if I've ever seen one.
It was offsides again, it looks like.
And all for nothing. So it really didn't even count.
Yeah, she's coming off the field. She
did really a good way to get down. So I'm assuming there's a sub?
Yeah, she came out and they did sub somebody else in. I don't know what number it was, but they did send a sub in. So up to midfield, Mary Kate will take it. We tick under 2 minutes or right at 2 minutes to go in the game.
Unfortunate challenge there. So now just good marking from the Chargers. Good job by Riley Orton. She's got somebody on her back looking for somebody to get the ball to. Ends up going straight to a defender. Gabby able to collect it. Chargers picking up the pace. They've got 2 minutes left. Anything can happen in 2 minutes, but they're going to have to devote some bodies up front.
Ball rolls out of bounds. Minute 42 to go in the game. Elena Wilson with the throw in.
So barring an incredible score by a Heritage Hall Charger, we'd have to pick a player of the game for this game. I mean, I think with my vote for all the pressure that the Chargers have had and all that the defense has had to work with, I'd say Riley Orton is probably one of my players of the game.
Yeah, I was going to go her or Gabby. She has played really, really well. The 2 goals had little to nothing to do with her, and I mean she's just played really, really well.
She's been in the right position. She's been able to play unman or down a man often. So, opportunities like that.
She stopped everything that's been put in front of her. Has Riley won it before or not?
I I don't know. I think she may have won our very first game.
Or has Gabby won it before?
I don't think Gabby has won it.
I'm going to say Gabby.
We can say Gabby. I think Gabby certainly has earned it. She's been it could have been a lot worse. This game could have been over in the first half, except for Gabby being strong on the ball. And
I was trying to think what else she could have done. I mean, the two she gave up have had nothing to do with her, and she has stopped. I mean, 4 or 5 different times when they were dead to right. I mean, I think she's kept us in the game. You couldn't go wrong with either one.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're both great, and we're probably not going to interview either one of them. So,
which I'd say Gabby Bowen is our Texadelphia player of the game. Certainly had a strong game. Both goals were taken from literally 6 yards out, and nothing that she could have done about it.
Yeah, so Gabby Bowen, our Texadelphia player of the game, and that is a final. Piedmont gets it done in the end. They score with about 5 minutes to go in the game, and the final is 2-1. A good effort. I mean, it's going to definitely show. And Heritage Hall hasn't seen this in a while, where they see what they have since the Clinton game early in the year when they lost, where they really are able to see what they need to work on. And they definitely were exposed in some spots today that they're going to have to get a little bit better. A little bit uphill going into the playoffs because this was a big one. I mean, there's no way to really sugarcoat it. This is a game they needed to win and weren't able to quite get it done. But Gabby played well. Riley, of course, played well. Needed to get a little bit more out of their offense, out of their forwards, and certainly not give up as many opportunities. Although they were covered up, the defense didn't have their best game either. So 2-1 is the final, and we'll take a break. We'll come back. Right? Are we missing anything?
No, I think I think it was a very, very well done game. Boys game comes up in 10 minutes, so I'd say we just take a break and then restart your browser to make sure to catch the boys game. But stick around with us.
Absolutely, yeah. As big as this one was, we're going to be back with the boys version. So you're listening and watching Heritage Hall Charger Soccer.